Hello and welcome to episode 27, how to make a GTA 5-star game in Unity 3D. Today we're going to be looking at the terrain. Right here you can see a software that isn't Unity. This is World Machine. This is the free version. I have the pro version, but I'm using the free version just so I'll know the limitations you guys have. Unless of course you do have the paid version, but whatever. I'm not actually going to use this terrain in my project, but I thought it would be a good idea to show this to you in case you wanted to use it anyway. So I'm just gonna so as you can see, we have our Perlin, advanced Perlin. Perlin is a form of random noise generation. In this case, it's a high map. Terrace, which sort of gives it bumpiness. I don't like that. And then the output, which outputs it to a high map. So what we're gonna do is just delete the 4 boxes around them. And we have our advanced Perlin. So I'm going to double click on the terrace and move where we have up here presets for save presets available. Click the drop down arrow and go. Let me just see what that is. Glacially scrapes. Oh, that's horrible. Subtle layered. Do that one. Hit OK. And now we need to go into the natural tab. And find erosion. Now, put 1 and put 2. Put 2 down. So what you're going to find is when you click it, it's still going to be there. So right click it and it'll go away. So yeah, we have erosion. So drag in the advanced Perlin, the box that, just drag that into the primary input, which then gets to work with the erosion. It's all node based. And then double click on the first erosion and go into classic WM erosion, which makes it look really pretty, as you can see. And then we have our terrace, so let's drag the primary output of the erosion into the terrace input. Oop, wrong one. God damn it. Okay, seems I have to clear it first. There we go. That didn't work. There we go. So as you can see, we have our terrace. So I'm just going to play around with these values a bit, see which one gets the best. So if I go on to smooth, and number of terraces, increase it. As you can see, the lower the amount of terraces, the flatter it becomes. So I suppose about 35. The terrace shape. Well, I don't know, let's try 0.5. How's that? That looks okay. And the terrace layering doesn't seem to do anything. Just leave it at 5, I suppose. So there we go. And then we have our second erosion and drag the terrace primary output into the second erosion input. Double click on it and do the same thing. Classic WM erosion. So erode it twice, and then if you want, you can do geological time enhancement, which just makes it go over as if it would be over time. And then that's it for now. And then, so what we can do is we can change what the terrain looks like by going into the randomize, which is the 2 dice up the top, just under device commands, and hold shift and click it. If you don't hold shift, that'll come up and just press yes. It's a bit annoying if you ask me. So I just hold shift and do it. I'm just going to find something nice. Like I say, I'm not actually going to use this in my project, but I thought it'd be useful for you lot to find. Ooh, that's quite pretty. Sort of like a valley down the middle. That's quite nice. And then if you want, you can have water. Sort of like that. A little lake there, that sort of thing. I mean, if you want, you can, like they do in GTA, where it's all a island. What you can do is go into generator and layout generator and just double click on it, and then you get a layout. And then what you can do is just create the base shape for your level. Oops. Okay, I've completely forgotten how to control this. There we go, it's right. Right click and drag moves the camera around. Okay, so what I'm just going to do is draw a circle, and then Now I don't remember anything here, so click the, no, that's wrong. Oh. Layout generator, click the box and edit shape properties. Okay, so if you go into the layout generator tab, click on your circle, right click, edit shape properties. You can change all the properties, so you can change the height value, so it's just like that. You can change the opacity, so you can have the height value right up, but you can make the opacity lower down. You can do the fall off, which is sort of like that. Which what I'm going to do is move it into the middle, so that way, like that. And I'm going to bring it, make it a bit smaller. And I'm going to right click it again and bring down the height value but increase the opacity. No, I'm not. I'm going to do the fall off value, the height value and the opacity. Bring the fall off a bit further. No, bring the fall off up. Just play around a bit, really. That's the best thing to do. So there we go, and then I'm going to draw a box, sort of like that. And then right click it as well, edit shape, oh, wrong one. Enable, I accidentally disabled it. So let's bring up the fall off, bring down the height value. That was completely failed. And then we can just bring it down, that sort of thing, like that. So that's what my island's going to look like. Like I said, I'm not actually going to use this. And then we drag the primary output of the layout generator into the shaping guide in the advanced Perlin. So there we go. There's our island. Although it's not really an island because reasons. So I'm just going to change that. So change things around. Basic, billowy, okay, smooth ridged, smooth billowy, sharp ridged, flat middle, terrace. No, I'm just going to keep with ridged, and okay, I'm just going to make the size of all this a bit different. I'm going to play around with the values until I get something nice. Okay, so where's my layout generator? Here. Make that a bit smaller. Unless what you can do is go into the overview tab, click the box and just make it bigger to fit the whole island in. This island is now called Hawkers. There we go. That is the weirdest looking island ever, but okay. So that's our island made, and then we have our erosion, terrace, and then the erosion again. So what you're going to find is you want to go into under device commands, under, not when you click on it, like actually under it, you have a picture of a terrain and then like a scale. Click on it and you're going to find that you can't go any higher than 512. That's a problem with the free version. It's a bit annoying, but whatever. And then what you want to do is you got down here, conserve memory, click that. Okay, and then you want to press the green circle that says build. Now, let's see how it looks. Fully built and everything. So yeah. Right. So, okay. And then go into the 3D view by pressing F8. And here is our island. That actually looks really pretty. That's actually quite cool, I like that. Okay. So, there are two macros we're going to get. One of them is called Extended Overlay, and the other is called Splat Map. Splat Map is like the detail texture sort of thing. So to add in a macro, you want to go to the macro tab and then click the button, the only button there is, and then add the two that are there. So I'm just going to do the Extended Overlay and then I'm going to add the Splat Map. So what we want to do is drag in our primary output of the second erosion into the default height map into the Extended Overlay, and then where we have the flow map in the Extended Overlay, drag in the flow map from the erosion. And as you can see, we have that. And then you want to go up to the presets and just press normal. And now I'm going to go into the generator, no, output rather, and then do the overlay view, which is the one right at the end. And so just drag in the default bitmap, and then the height map as well. And there we go, there's our textured terrain. Now, I'm not a big fan of how rocky that looks actually, so I'm just going to play around with that. I'm just going to reset it, so delete it and then re-add it. There's probably a better way to reset it, but that's the only way I know of. So do the same as before. There, that looks actually quite a lot nicer, to be fair. So I click that, and what we can do is lock the preview. So click on the overlay view and lock preview over at the side under water level. And so no matter what you click on, it'll always stay on the overlay view. So now we can build it again. Build. I mean, it's better to build into 2048, but the free version doesn't allow for that. And there we go. That looks very cool. With all the flow map coming down, and there's rock there. Very cool. What you can do is you can play around with the values. You can make it so the sun heading, but that doesn't do anything. The max cliff slope means like what is the maximum angle for it to be a cliff, essentially. And then we have our max beach height. So what we can do is just bring that up and make a beach around the corners, edges rather. So if we build it again, you don't have to use lots of erosions if you really don't want to, because it can take a bit longer to build. But I mean, I like to because I think it looks nicer. There we go. So beaches here, all that. And then what we can also do is before the second erosion, but after the terrace, is go into the natural and do a coastal erosion. So what we can do is just drag in the terrace output and then do the primary output into the primary input for the second erosion. And then if you want to use global water level. This is only useful if you have water in your map. And then with the star success, you just go cliff and cleaf. That's a word. Cliff and beaches, and you can just bring down the beach size, sort of thing. Just mess around with the values till you get what you want. I think that's quite good. I'm just going to play around the layout view because it's okay. Why is that coming out there but not on here? It's a bit bizarre. Oh well. So if we build it out again, build. Okay, and there we go. There's our terrain with all the coastal erosion. That's a word, erosion. I'm pretty sure there's somewhere you can make it so it becomes completely flat underwater. Ah, there we go. Smooth underwater features and then smoothing amount. Bring that right up. Or you can keep it at 0, but I'm going to bring it right up. 16. Build it out. Erosion has to get rebuilt every time. Bit annoying, but oh well. It makes it look nice. There we go. The underwater features are smoothed out. And well, yeah. It looks fantastic if you ask me. And now, what we're going to do, well actually I'll just get into detail with this sort of thing. As you can see, we have our rock there, our grass on top. If you wanted, you could add snow, but I don't really like that. If you wanted to, you can go into generate natural and then snow, but I don't really like it. I don't think it's very nice. So what we want to do is do the splat map. So what we want is to drag in the height field, the main height field, which will be from the second erosion, and then we want a cliff map, which would be cliff map. Well, the deposition map from the erosion would go into the deposition input for the splat map. As for the cliff map, though, not sure about that. Let me just. I'm just checking all the values here. This is a color map. Oh yeah, I've locked it out now. Okay, there's the color map. Okay, so turns out there are height fields. So what is that? That's apparently the grass and sand map. Oops. Okay, so this is just the sand mask. This one is okay. This one is the ambient occlusion map, yeah. And then this one is the light map AO. Okay. So we can. What I'm going to use for the cliff map is the grass and sand mask. So here we have our output masks. I'm assuming mask 0 would be red, mask 1 would be blue, mask 2 would be green, and mask 3 would be alpha. So we can. Let me just check all these, see what they look like. Looks fine. Looks fine. Looks fine. Right, so yeah, what we're going to do is somewhere, I've been looking for it for a while and I can't seem to find it. There's a red, green, blue combiner thing, but I can't seem to find it for some reason, and it's very annoying. Parameter, here it is. In converter, we have our channel combiner. We have a splat converter, which I didn't know was a thing. Okay. Okay, so we have our channel combiner. So we can just do that, and that, and then we click on it, and then there we have. No, but we also have that one. One of them's missing something. It's a bit odd. Okay, maybe we should do a combiner, and we'll combine the last two. Plop them in. There we go. It's really blue, but oh well. So that. Damn. What would be what then? What I'm going to quickly do is plop in the map into this. So the okay. Oops. Well, the blue, this blue, would be sand. The third channel would be sand. So what would the fourth channel be? The fourth channel. Oh my god, wrong one. The fourth channel, I suppose, would be grass. No, I don't know. That's weird. I'll put in a sand mask for the cliff thing then. How's that? Yeah. Unless there's a better one to use. Channel splitter, normal map maker, we're going to use that in a minute. Yeah, okay. So we have, so what if I, so the red, that's green, so that one would be, red is sand, I suppose I'll combine mask 0 and mask 2. So I'm going to do, so combiner, mask 0 and mask 2, and plop that into the red, and that looks really weird. Hold on. Okay, that actually looks fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. The so you want to combine the mask 0 and mask 2 using the combiner node found in the combiner tab, and then put that into the red in the channel combiner, and then put the mask 1 into green and mask 3 into blue. So I'm just going to put my in there. So there we go. Now, what we want is a height map, not a height map, a normal map. So we can just go into converter and then normal map maker. Simple. And then we just drag in the primary input as the primary output from the second erosion. And then we have our normal map. So now what we need is we have 1-bit map, we have 2-bit maps, we have 3-bit maps and 1 height. So we need to go into output, get 3-bit map outputs, so 1, 2, and 3, and then 1 height map. If you want, you can export it as a mesh, but I don't really want to do that. So we want to output our normal map, our, oh, I already have a height output, our height map, which would come from the second erosion. And just plop that in there, voila, and then do the splat map, or alpha map as it's sometimes referred to, and then the color map. So, oops, I'm just testing something out here. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so we want to output the default bitmap. So there we go. All good. So that's it. So we have our normal map being outputted, our splat map, our color map, and our height map. So now we want to double click on any of them, doesn't really matter. And as you want to do it for all of them, output file on every build, and then we want to go select output file. I'm doing the color map right now. And then what you can do is go into your project. So it's just called GTA 5, scenes. I'm going to start a new folder within the scenes called terrain. And then name it color. And save, and I'm going to have it export as a PNG, 16 bits, and then press OK. Do the same for each of them. So the splat map, you want to save as splat, output on every build, and PNG 16 bits, and then the normal map, name normal PNG, and output on every build. And now the height map, so we want to go save file every time machine is built, absolute, and use absolute path for setting file name. So now we want to go, and then we go file format, do it as raw 16, and then press set, and you can go find where you want to export it to. Scenes, terrain, we should name it height. And now, in the file name, you want to go to the end, and where you have height.r16, you want to place the 16 with AW, so it's height.raw, and press OK. Now you just build it. and it will build out, and you will get all your stuff. Now, for you to actually use the color map, you need another tool, which is, we currently have the Advanced Terrain Shaders version 1. We need version 2. So I'll just quickly show you what the output will be for the terrain. So here it is, there's our color map. That's 512 by 512, there's our normal map, and there's our splat map. It looks quite purple. This is good, that's all fine. So now we need to just import the, download and import the version 2 of the tools. So actually, first of all, what I'm going to do is, come on, go away. Open up our scene and click on our terrain once it's loaded. Come on, what are you doing? How long have we been going for? 26 minutes. And click on the terrain and just delete the custom terrain scripts. Just remove it, and then remove the ATS package folder. Just delete it. So now it's pink. Once it's recompiled, it will not be pink anymore, but whatever. It just means there's no material or no shader for it. So once it's recompiled, like I say, it won't be pink. It's compiling, and white. There we go, fantastic. So now we're just going to the asset store. And search for Advanced Terrain Shaders. Shader. And what you want to do, what we're going to find is, there are two we need to download actually. I just completely forgot about that. We need to download the Advanced Terrain Shader V2, which I already downloaded, so whatever, and import that, and then actually, let's not import that. Don't import the V2, sorry, my bad. Instead, you want to import the, where are you? ATS color map shader, color map terrain shader. That's the one we want. So just download it and import it. That's the one we want, not the other one. My bad. Right. So this will allow for color maps, normal maps, and splat maps. So here we have a load of showing off textures, whatever. So we go import. Let me just see what I did for the size of the layout view. How big is that? That is okay, so how big is that? It doesn't say. Fantastic. Well, if that, okay. So it's 10 by 10 kilometers, but oh, that's going to be far too big for Unity. So, right, so now I'm just going to open a new scene and show you how the terrain will look. So we want to go into terrain, no, game object, create, 3D object, terrain, and then we want to go into the cog at the end of the, just click on the terrain rather and go to the cog, which is the settings, and then import raw assets, and then scene start did it not export as raw or something? Okay. If it didn't export as raw, you can just change the file type in the Windows Explorer. So import raw, do it again. Terrain, there we go. And it's going to go on with this window that says import height-map. Apparently it's going to take a while to load as well. Quite a while. I don't know what's going on here, hold on. Okay, it's done. So we want to just simply replace by order to Windows, and that's it. Press import. Well, actually, if you want, you can increase the terrain size, but I'll just leave this as it is. Press import, and here we have our terrain. So, right, the black, no, the grey squares is just from the new shader. Right, as you can see, the further away you get from it, the lower detailed it becomes, so you can't really get a good feel for what it's actually going to look like. So in the settings, just bring down the pixel error to 1, and there you go. That's exactly what it's always going to look. That's exactly what it looks like. So yeah, but just keep it at 5 or 2 or something. Just keep it as its default, which is 5. So let's go into our color map terrain shader thing. Go into scripts and add the custom terrain script. That one. So now we want to add first of all the color map and the height map, normal map rather. So if we play and add a light, okay, don't know what's happened here. Oh, there we go. Oh, I haven't enabled the light. I haven't turned the light on. That would be why. Oh, for God's sake, come on. Right. Oh yeah. That's another thing. What you have to do is you're gonna have to open both the color and normal map. I'm not sure if you have to do a splat map or not. You probably do. Open the color and normal map. And you have to flip it vertically. That's just a thing that happens, unfortunately. So I'm just going to re-add the light, the directional light. So just image, flip, vertical. I used Photoshop, but I mean you can do this in anything. You can do this in Paint, I think. So it's like the most basic thing. So I just save both of them. And let it import, press play, and there we go. That's better, as you can see. But obviously, the closer we get, it gets black because we don't have any textures on it. So what we're gonna do is, oops, oh, I have two directional lights. We're going to click on our terrain, go into the paintbrush, and add 4 textures. I'm going to use all the demo resources that came with the color map thing. So the grass, and set it to 5. Just 5, why not? The rock, which I'm also just going to set to 5. Add that. The sand, which I'm also just going to set to 5. And the soil. Actually, no, I'll just do those 3. So now we're going to add the grass normal, grass rock, and the sand normal. No, the not rock normal rather. And then for the color texture, click the select thing and just hover over anywhere on the texture and just click. So do that with the same for each one. And now, what we need to do is in the splat map, we need to go where we have texture type, go advanced. Then we need to make it generate bitmaps is false, read write enabled, and bypass sRBG samples. And then we need to go format RBGA 16-bit. And so now we can go apply splat map, ELP 32-bit. this scene there. So now we can go apply splat map. Okay, let's try RGB 32-bit. Apply splat map. What? There we go. Oh, it needs 4 textures. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Right. Is there a way to add in the alpha value? I don't think there is. Is there? I'm not sure. Oh well, whatever. Right, so let's add a 4th texture then, which will be the sand, soil sand, and then 555, and then just the color, soil sand, that, and then select splat map, terrain, apply splat map. There we go. Looking really weird. Okay, so let's press play. And here we go. So if we zoom in, come on down, we will find that hold on. We have our sand with the normal maps and everything. We have more sand for some reason. We have our, okay, the rock is grass for some reason. The, the sand works. Okay, well, you can obviously continue to play around with the splat map and the values in terrain, what's it called? World Machine. I forgot what it was called. World Machine. God, I'm an idiot. And well, yeah, you just continue messing around with the values, and you can just, like I say, play around, and there you go. We have an absolutely awesome looking terrain. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Obviously, if you build to a higher resolution, all the textures are going to be better looking and everything, but with the free version you can't, so that's a shame. Anyway, cheers for watching, and I will see you in the next one. So yeah, bye bye.